Syracuse University announces a new mask mandate. What does this mean for students and staff?
Making travel plans for this spring break? Syracuse Airport may have some new dining options for you.
119 Euclid hosts a Black Health and Wellness Expo this week. We have details on their opening event.
All that plus your weather and orange sports coming up on this edition of Mornings on the Hill.
Good morning, I'm Caitlin McCarthy. Thanks for joining us on Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Mary Horton. Let's take a look at our top story. The university changed their campus mask requirements. Our top story this hour, COVID numbers on campus continue to decline. Our Marcus Veal joins us live to tell us about a new mask mandate that went into effect yesterday for the university.
Thanks, guys. As the song by Sierra goes, level up, level up, level up. And that's exactly what SU did, going from red to blue in the masking policy. Vice President J. Michael Haney made official in his email last Friday. I spoke to students to gather their thoughts on the news. SU is home of the orange, but the talk of campus has been about a different color. Vice Chancellor Haney informed us that starting yesterday, campus is now in level blue after being in level red since before fall semester. Graduate student Irie Harris says the change is nice, but hopes people don't let their guard down.
I think it is important within healthy and safety regards that, we make sure that we mask up all the time and stay vaccinated, because if we don't, the consequences are severe.
In the blue level, masks are recommended indoors and outdoors in groups for those that are vaccinated, but still required in classrooms. The same goes for events in the Carrier Dome, as well as the Barnes Center. For swimmers, it can still be frustrating trying to reserve a lane.
We are only allotted 45 minutes per reservation, and I'm fine with keeping it one person per lane, but 45 minutes is really, in my opinion, I don't know if it's enough to get a substantial workout in.
Now, if there was a class in here, everybody would have to have their masks on, and that's been the same policy since August. Some students don't see that changing anytime soon, while others are a little more optimistic.
No, because you have a lot of certified bozos that don't want to go get vaccinated.
Maybe towards the end of the semester we can get back to that. So yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction. So it is possible.
In Onondaga County, cases are continuing to drop. If that remains true, we might be getting another email from the Vice Chancellor very soon. Now, last week I referenced a Disney song as an anchor, and I'm going to do the same thing this week. From Princess and the Frog, Mama Odie says, "If you dig a little deeper, blue skies and sunshine guaranteed." Reporting live from campus, I'm Marcus Veal for Mornings on the Hill.
A new university is set to join the Central New York area. Well, maybe not new. Utica College is announcing a name change that's been 15 years in the making. It's set to hit this Thursday as an all thanks to the definition of university getting passed by the New York State Board of Regents at the start of this year.
The new definition no longer requires a university to offer 3 research doctoral degrees, and the switch for Utica into universityship could not only mean more funding for the school, but will also be a significant change for graduate and international students.
Grabbing a bite to eat before you reach security at the Syracuse airport may not have been an option before. Our Morgan Scott joins us live to explain how that is all about to change.
You traveling through Syracuse Airport, I have some pretty good news. I spoke with the airport's chief commercial officer, who told me that the airport is finally adding some new food options to its front lobby, although it may not be exactly what you expect. When traveling through the first floor of Syracuse Airport, oftentimes you may hear about your flight on a loudspeaker, or perhaps the tunes from the organist who plays there every day. But what you don't see is food. Chief Commercial Officer Jason Mell has a plan to turn that around.
What we came up with was a solution, a vending option, where I know it's a lot of people look at vending options and go, ooh, stay away. But the vending options that we're looking at are based in California, many of them, and some are locally here at American Food and Vending.
With the help of students at the Rochester Institute of Technology, the designs for the new food area were created to fill this space.
Because of the lack of attention, from the passenger base, and it's very cost prohibitive for somebody to actually have a restaurant, because you have to hire people, the people have to maintain and keep everything going.
Since the 9/11 attacks, the era of TSA began, and now most people only worry about eating once they get past that checkpoint. Just last month, the airport installed a new vending machine, Yokai Express, which would serve you real ramen in real time.
High-end ramen noodles. It's very, very good.
But for some travelers and employees, this isn't nearly enough.
That would be awesome to have a little bit more variety down here so you can find some different food.
Some of the options provided by new vending machines will include everything from breakfast pizzas to breakfast sandwiches, and even bubble tea. With spring break just in 3 weeks, the airport is expecting to see thousands of students. And while the new food vending will not be here until this summer, travelers are encouraged to try the new popular ramen station. Back to you in the studio.
Here on Mornings on the Hill, we strive to accurately represent the diverse Syracuse community, on and off the camera. The mission is shared by a number of national journalism organizations, including one that's just touched down at SU. Reporter Lauren Helmbrecht is live with a Syracuse student who's bringing an LGBTQ+ association to campus.
Thanks, Ari. I'm live with Gabe Julian. Gabe is a broadcast and digital journalism graduate student at Syracuse and the founding member of the NLGJA, which is a national association for LGBTQ+ journalists. Gabe, thanks so much for being here. Why did you feel like it was important to bring the NLGJA to Syracuse University?
So we really wanted to establish this sense of community at Syracuse. So this is the first chapter of this organization here at Syracuse, and we wanted to sort of help young journalists that are LGBTQ+, help establish relationships that will help them in their future.
So establishing relationships is very important with networking, etc. What are some other benefits from joining this organization?
So to speak on my own behalf, I was a recent recipient of the Steve Mason Sportsmedia Scholar Award, awarded to a student every year as a part of the NLGJA. Along with that, with my enrollment in the NLGJA, I made several connections and been open to several opportunities that have helped me, that are going to help me throughout my future as well.
So what are some next steps for this organization here on campus?
So we're getting the chapter started. We're still in the kind of early portions of it. We're in connection with the main headquarters in DC, but we're right now trying to establish the chapter and get members. So basically what comes with that is having people at Syracuse at any major involved in journalism, any aspect of it, to get enrolled in it. And there will be an eventual email sent out to all Newhouse students, but we're just trying to get the word out as well.
Thank you so much, Gabe. Again, I'm live with Gabe Julian, a graduate student and the founding member of the NLGJA here at Syracuse. If you're interested in more information or potentially joining, you can email Gabe directly. His email is gjulian, Julien, @syr.edu. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Lauren Helmbrecht.
Most students know the stressful process of taking out loans and repaying them. 119 in Euclid hosted a financial literacy event as part of their Health and Wellness Week.
Our own Rochelle Legrand went to the event and gives us an inside look.
Good morning, Ari. Yes, last night I had the opportunity to attend the event, The Challenge of Debt for Black Students and How to Manage It. The event was a partnership amongst 119 Euclid, the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, and the Office of Financial Aid. I was able to take part in the presentation that not only taught students how to manage their finances, but highlighted the disparities that Black students specifically face. Let's take a look.
Students gathered yesterday at 119 Euclid for the event, The Challenge of Debt for Black Students and How to Manage It. The event was part of Syracuse University's Black History Month Health and Wellness Expo.
The Office of Financial Aid tends to be extremely intimidating and not necessarily a welcoming space to first-generation students, let alone students of color or Black students. And my resolution when I took over this specific position for the Office of Financial Literacy was to go out and meet students where they are then.
The event was hosted by Karina Anderson McNary, who acknowledged the ways college debt puts Black students at a higher disadvantage than their counterparts.
To income ratio is not going to be in the place that it needs to be for 5, sometimes 10 years into their career. They're not buying high cost cars. They're not starting businesses or taking financial risks because they already have so many financial obligations that they need to meet that it's unfathomable to think about taking on further risk and putting any lifestyle that they've curated in jeopardy. And then that multiplies, again, when you're talking about students of color who don't have generational wealth. And when you're talking about first generation students specifically, they don't have anything to fall back on. They have only themselves.
When asked how her program will resonate with students, Karina spoke about how she wants to remold the way financial literacy is taught in higher education.
So much of financial literacy education was built around, again, that one-size-fits-all sort of barrier, which is you're supposed to take this linear information that may not have been built around your lived experiences to start with, and then somehow apply it to your life, and we give you no tools to do that. And instead, I want to open up the conversation to say, how do we build those together?
For more events that are being highlighted this week for the final week of Black History Month, you can visit the Syracuse University calendar online. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Rochelle LeGrand.
Coming up here on Mornings on the Hill, 2 members from the Men of Color Initiative will be in studio. And our Nia Lucky will give us a look at what you can expect on your commute today. You may want to ditch your winter coat today for a poncho or maybe an umbrella.
Nia Lucky is live in studio to give us the latest on weather.
Yes, good morning and happy Tuesday, everyone. Ari and Caitlin, I think we can all agree we are a little jealous of our live reporters soaking up this weather right now. Taking a look at current conditions for today. The temperature is 53, which is different from the snowy Syracuse weather. But hey, look, I am not complaining. It feels like 50 outside with 44-degree humidity. Although we're experiencing cloudy conditions, enjoy it because we are expecting rain around the 1 o'clock hour. Taking a look at the rest of the week, we are seeing a theme of showers Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So like Queen Riri, I will be under my umbrella, But hey, keep an eye out for Wednesday because we will have showers mixed with snow. High being 27 and low of 16. Don't get sad because we can look forward to Saturday and enjoy a little sun. That is all for the weather today. Mornings on the Hill, Nia Lucky.
Thanks, Nia. The Men of Color Initiative is a program on campus designed to support and empower the Black male student experience.
Calvin Milliner is in studio to talk with 2 members of the organization to share the importance of this space.
Color Initiative, Chris Agile and Dylan Antigua. I want to thank you guys for coming in. So Dylan, what is the greatest impact you've got from the group?
I definitely would say it's had a major impact on me. It's not only giving me and my brothers a platform, but it's also giving us a voice and a space for us to come together. Coming to a school like Syracuse, I feel like this program gives our environment, a place for me to go and see people that look like me, people that like the things that I like, and I would honestly say that it's empowered us as a group all together.
Chris, coming out of the pandemic, I'm sure things may have been hard on the group. How did you guys manage that?
Well, basically, we just took it upon us to plan out the events for the next year. So basically, what we had in mind is what would we want to see as freshmen, as men of color on this campus? It will attract us to a program. So we had academic workshops and resume workshops, and also a basketball tournament as social events, just to draw in new members.
And what can we expect next from the group?
Actually, this Friday, we have our official inauguration to the university,
yes,
taking place in Shine 3 or 4 this Friday. And I would say just stay tuned for our series of events, because if there's one thing we're going to be, it's going to be phenomenal, and we're not going to be forgotten at all. So,
I want to thank you guys for coming in. For Mornings on the Hill, Calvin Milliner. Back to the ladies in red.
Thanks, Calvin. Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, Syracuse honors 2 lacrosse legends over the weekend, and our Allison Turner visits a local dance community that's spinning back the clock. Stay with us. That story and more just ahead.
Top 10 matchups and history-making moments? Yeah, it was a big weekend for Syracuse lacrosse. Both the men's and women's teams were recognized before their respective games on Sunday. Before the men's game, Roy Simmons was added to the Ring of Honor, and Gary Gate had his jersey put up in the rafters. And the women's lacrosse program made some history, not just within their program, but within all women's sports, when Katie Rowan's iconic number 21 was retired. Her list of accolades on the field is far too vast to get into right now, but she's only the second ever female athlete at SU to have her jersey retired, and the first ever in Syracuse women's lacrosse history. She graduated years ago, but her impact on the game for the Orange, even now, still speaks volumes.
I wore 21 here at Syracuse as well, to follow in her legacy and her footsteps.
We're very big on family here, with all of our alumni always supporting us. So even though she's a rival coach of ours at Albany, like, she's constantly wants the best for us.
About last night, we know Syracuse basketball barely squeaked it out over Georgia Tech in the Dome. They walked away with a 74-73 overtime win over the Yellow Jackets. And all things considered, this game was far too close from the jump. Tied going into half, with the offense shooting just under 33% from the field. Off night for Buddy Boeheim, but Jimmy got it done, scoring 20 and grabbing 10 boards. Cole Swider had 18 and 12 too. So other players stepped up big when it mattered in place of Buddy. And to break it all down just a little bit further for you, our Calvin Cristoforo is live on campus to give us some X's and O's from last night. Calvin, this game was not pretty for Syracuse in the slightest, but what do you think is the most important thing for them? Because this is a big week for them. This is a big win.
Important thing, I'll put it simply, is they won the basketball game. They scored more points than Georgia Tech. Hey, a win is a win, and this was a game that Syracuse could not afford to lose. Not because it's going to bolster Syracuse's tournament hopes, but because if you lose to a 4-11 team in the ACC like Georgia Tech, your tournament hopes could be dead on the spot. So they got it done, wasn't pretty, but hey, a win is a win.
So Calvin, probably the biggest thing is that we know how good Syracuse is at home, but Duke is coming to the Dome. They obviously go to South Bend, Indiana for Notre Dame this Wednesday, but Duke in the Dome, we know the fans make it loud. Syracuse, a little over 90 points a game since the new year in the Dome. How big of a difference do you think the fans make, and do you think it matters against a team like Duke that's top 10 in the nation?
Undefeated in the Dome when students are in the student section, but hey, this is a Duke Blue Devils we're talking about. This is the number 7 team in the nation. It's a completely different ball game when you're talking about that team from Durham. Duke is going to come in. It's going to be a packed house for Syracuse. It's an orange out in the student section, but with guys like A.J. Griffin and Paulo Boncaro, the Blue Devils have the upper hand.
And Calvin, the last question, the Orange are missing Jesse Edwards. Obviously that hurts, but even when they had him earlier this year against the Blue Devils, they got blown out by over 20 points. So who do you think the X factor has to be, because Buddy Boeheim was not great yesterday?
Buddy Boeheim wasn't great yesterday. Cole Swider was okay yesterday. But Joe Girard shooting 3 for 15 from the floor and 3 for 11 from beyond the arc. That can't happen. With Edwards out, Syracuse has to be dominant from beyond the three-point arc. They weren't really last night, and that's because Joe Girard was cold. If 11 can get it going for Syracuse, hey, they got a chance.
Cristoforo live on campus. Calvin, thank you so much. Syracuse tip-off against Notre Dame this Wednesday, 4 p.m., a little bit of a matinee. Ari, Caitlin, back to you.
Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, our Allison Turner is Lindy hopping into a local dance community. Stay with us, that story and more just ahead. An old school genre of dance has made its mark in Central New York, swing dancing.
Mornings on the Hill reporter Allison Turner tells us how this 1920s dance style survived the pandemic.
Thanks, guys. The COVID-19 pandemic really took so many things away from everyone, including being together. But one dance community did not let their passions swing away.
Loud music, a disco ball, and laughter. A Solvay ballroom truly comes to life every Thursday when Westie Night, an open swing dance event, begins. Maria and Jeff Wormold started Westie Night nearly 10 years ago to share their love of dance.
We were really inspired to create an opportunity where people could come together and dance.
They've even added their own modern twist to swing dancing. They play different genres of music, which allows dancers to mix things up and dance with everyone.
Different music, different partners, different days. If you're having a bad day and you need a boost, it can boost you up. And some songs make you feel slow and dreamy. The other songs are, high energy.
Westy Night became so popular to the point where they'd have around 30 people come each week. But all of that changed in March 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic forced them to shut down.
It was very lonely, very sad for 2 years for people to be afraid to come out of their house.
They kept themselves busy with Zoom classes and practicing on their own. They said it was hard, but they knew they'd be dancing together again soon. In July 2021, their wishes came true. They were able to dance together again after being apart for so long. But things look a little different. Dancers get their temperatures checked at the door and are required to wear a mask, and they encourage frequent hand washing throughout the night.
We're just trying to be cautious and think of the safety of the community right now.
The dancers are happy to be back, and the increased safety measures are just a small price to pay to dance together again. All students are welcome to go to Westy Night and learn about swing dancing. So to learn more about Westy Night or get involved, visit danceloverscny.com. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Allison Turner. Back to you guys.
To finish us off here this morning, we want to wish you all a happy Palindrome Week.
Every day this week is read the same backwards as it is forwards, and this won't happen again with the number 2 on a Tuesday for another 400 years. This is going to do it for us this Tuesday here on Mornings on the Hill. I'm Caitlin McCarthy. Follow us on social media.
And I'm Ari Horton. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. See you all Friday live at 10 a.m. right here on OTN.